obviously, but he's a Leaf fan. And I want to ask him some questions and just kind of get because I don't get to see the Leafs as much as he does. So I'm always curious to know, like, what they think about their own team because I don't know, right? So, anyways, Loop, say hello.
Hello, everybody.
All right. So, what are your honest? Lynette, I want to ask your honest opinions. What are your honest opinions about the Leafs season so far this year?
Well, I think right now it's obviously things aren't going too great. After we beat Edmonton, we swept the season series with Edmonton. We were on top of the world and
Hmm.
lost a couple games to Vancouver and lost 2-3 against the Winnipeg, and then I think we lost another one to Calgary, and so it's not going too good right now. Um,
Right. Do you feel like they're different than like last year? Do you feel like there's more of a chance for them to go far in the playoffs, or like what are your thoughts like that?
I think it's a better team. Um, I
Okay.
think every team goes through some losing streaks.
Yeah,
Um,
that's true.
I think the goaltending has been well publicized. It's a bit of a mess. Um, and I
Yeah, we're
think
gonna get to the goaltending soon. I'm gonna ask you a question about that later, um,
I
but
think
do you
you play the same teams every
yeah,
so
it's
many
true.
times, and you play like Ottawa, who's supposed to be bad. Sure, you play them
Yeah,
what 10 times. So
I think it's nine total. I
yeah,
think
they
that's if
don't
I'm
play
not
them 10.
mistaken.
Um,
Could be 10. I don't know. I don't know why I think nine, but it could be 10. I don't know.
Either way, you play the same team, and
A lot of times.
these
Yeah.
teams have always played each other tight, and it's
Are you
they're
surprised that the Leafs can't? Well, I mean, I know there's some games. Like I know there was a one game that they beat them 7-3. Other than that game, they've all been either very close, right? So like that was the only real kind of blowout, I guess. Are you surprised that they've been having so much trouble with the Sens this year?
I think I mean it's always kind of been a thing. They've never been able, even back in the early 2000s when the Sens would win 6-0, 7-2, and then and I'm not saying this is like a backhanded thing, but and then
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Leafs would come
yeah,
into the playoffs and sweep them or whatever. It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
they've
I
never been
remember
able
that
to
year.
play the Sens in the regular
Regular
season.
season very well
It's
for
just,
whatever reason. It's weird. It's weird how that happens.
some teams just you just have the other team's number, and
So, another question: what Leaf do you find has surprised you? And I'm not talking about the big guys like Marner or Matthews. Like those guys obviously are going to be good, but like, is there any Leaf that you can think of that like, oh, he's played really well this year? Like, I'm surprised he's been so good. Is there any Leaf like that for you right now?
I mean Spets has been a beaut. He's
Okay.
he only plays about 10 minutes of ice time a night, and he's come out with big goals. He's a real leader on the bench. He as much as I hated him, he was the Sens.
Back.
Like, but he's a completely different player now too.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and I think you hear a lot about Hyman. He's he's played really well.
But
Uh,
are you surprised he's played very well? Like, is it more
Hyman's
like you
always
thought,
kind of
eh?
been there. Justin Hall, I
Okay.
think, is the real breakout defenseman this year for the Leafs.
Nice.
Um, Other than that, I mean, we're gonna get to goaltending later. What the hell did this guy do?
I don't know. He killed himself.
Yeah. Um,
Um.
and obviously Jack Campbell's been well, but
Right.
a,
So you're saying basically Justin Hall, right?
if I had to pick a player from each rank, I'm gonna go
Yeah.
Spezza from the
Justin
forwards,
Hall.
Hall from the defense, and Campbell in the goaltenders.
Okay. Makes sense. Now that you mentioned goaltending, I'll ask you that question. Who should the Leafs go for now? Should they stick with Campbell or go back to Anderson? He's hurt right now, is he not?
Yeah, Anderson's out for about a week now.
Okay. Let's say
Um,
when he gets back. What would you do if you were the GM or coach or whatever?
you know, I think like Freddie's your guy at the end of the day. Um,
Okay.
he obviously does not have his confidence, and he's obviously injured. Um,
Well, I'm saying like when he's obviously going to come back. would you just, and if Campbell keeps, like, because Campbell's been good, hasn't he? Since
Yeah,
he's been in there,
and I
like
think
he's won a couple games.
the team genuinely likes Campbell. They like playing for him.
Right. So why not keep Campbell in there, right?
Well, he hasn't shown me he's the number one goalie, so
Okay.
your plan is to win the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
Frederick Anderson has not given you great playoff goaltending.
Great.
Uh,
So you're saying when he's back and healthy, you're saying put Anderson back in, is what you're saying.
yeah, it's a tough call. I think you got to put Anderson back in at the end of the day.
Okay. Yeah, and fair enough. I mean, that's something it's not an easy call to make either way, right? Because you got two goalies, one that's supposed to be your guy, and the other one that seems to be playing. I mean, arguably playing better, right? He's playing better than Anderson right now. Okay, that's fair enough statement, right?
Yeah. I do think that Austin Matthews is actually more hurt than everybody's letting on.
Oh, you think so?
Oh, he's not shooting the puck at all. There's a couple chances there, and even I think if that chance in overtime there, I think if he was healthy, he would have scored on that. There's a couple times where
Right.
he could have shot, but he passed it off. I think that's a big.
It hurts the Leafs for sure because he's obviously their best player. But I mean,
Right.
I don't know. Would you say him and Marner? I don't. I mean, I would say still him.
Him and
He's still your best
he and
player.
Marner are the number 1 and 2 for sure.
Yeah,
Freddie
no,
Anderson was up
definitely.
there for a bit, but he's been inconsistent. And
Now, let me ask you a question too. Tavares is kind of interesting this year because I find that from what I've read, again, I don't watch it as much as you, obviously the Leafs, but I've seen like he's kind of taken a step back. Do you feel like that's the case?
yeah, he's not. Um,
I don't know.
when- um, yeah, so he's obviously not scoring, 40 goals like he did the first year he was with the Leafs. Is he a pretty good number 2 center right now? Yeah. He's not putting up
Right.
superstore numbers, but I think he's playing pretty well defensively. He's winning some draws.
So you're not like upset that he's like you're not upset that he's playing this year, basically.
I think everybody would want more.
Right.
I think statistically he's actually doing pretty okay. He's doing okay.
He's not being like
He's doing okay,
Yeah.
and that's the thing.
he's not getting the minutes he did in against when we played for New York, obviously.
No, but he didn't. I can't remember when he scored 40 goals his first year with the Leafs. I think maybe he was a number 1 C, and Austin was behind him.
Oh, you think? Oh, okay. I see. Again, yeah, that makes sense.
But it's still his line gets ample playing time. I think he does look slow. The contract's probably not going to look great. In year 6 and 7.
He's got a long contract right now. I don't remember.
Oh, he's probably got about 3 or 4 or 5 years left.
Because they signed him to a long-term deal, right?
It's like 7 years, yeah.
Now, all right. So, moving on. Now, this is another interesting question I had. If you had anybody that you could take from the Sens for free, absolutely free, any Senator player that you wish you would have on the Leafs team, who would that be?
I mean, as much as I hate his face, it's got to be Brady Tkachuk.
Okay. Yeah, interesting. I had a feeling you'd say that, but is it because of the way he plays, or?
Yeah, it's even funny because like Morgan Riley got a penalty for cross-checking in front of the net tonight for
Yep.
no reason at all.
Yep.
And
you think it's because just Brady's just an asshole, basically?
I mean, I don't know if that was because it was Tkachuk or not. It's funny because I feel like the refs they actually called penalties for like 5 minutes in the first period.
Yeah.
And then
I
you're just
noticed
like,
that.
okay, that's enough.
That's enough. And then
No
still
more.
calling
Yeah,
it.
we've lost the ball.
I
for a
noticed that
whistle.
too. And it was like both sides too. Like it wasn't like,
Oh,
both sides were getting calls.
and you know, and I don't think there was any really egregious penalties that were missed.
No.
I mean, obviously, the Sens played with 6 defenders in their zone for
Yeah,
a little
that
bit.
was interesting. I want to take it. I wonder if I can get a video of that because I want to show that off. But that was a huge miss by the refs. Huge.
I mean,
Because not only in that, they played them. They played like for like a good 10 seconds. There were 6 players on the ice. And even the Leafs didn't notice.
They must not have.
Well, look, they would have said something for sure. They would have said something.
Exactly. I do think the Wayne Simmons trip where he went up to the ref and the ref covered the mic. I think that should have definitely been a call.
Right.
But it seems like they put their whistles away at which.
Yeah, you're right. It's true. All right. So that was the questions I had. Now let's talk a little bit about the game that just happened. So let's go back to the first period if you remember it. I write everything down because I have a terrible memory, but going back to the first period, so the Sens, I mean, I find the first period was a bit more towards the Leafs, but it was pretty even, I find. And would you agree with that one?
So I came in a little late. When I came in, it was, I think, 9 to 2 the shots for the Leafs.
Right.
So
right.
I don't know the quality or that, but from when I came in, it did seem pretty even.
So you came in like, what, 10 minutes left in the first or something?
I guess so, yeah.
About that? Because I find, yeah, I noticed that too. The first little bit, the Leafs kind of had more of the edge, and then the Sens kind of hit back a bit more in the second half of the first a bit.
It seemed like the Leafs still had the better chances, I would say.
Out of the first, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And the whole game, to be honest.
You know, obviously Jack Campbell gave him that little gift there.
Well, that's what I was going to mention. So near the end, shorthanded Sens, Brown, well, I guess it was Tierney that kind of went in there, and then Jack Campbell made a little boo-boo and ended up in the back of the net. But
I wonder if
so
Connor,
that was just.
I wonder if Connor Brown had some money on the board for scoring against his team because he was like super happy about that goal.
He was really happy, yeah. He was very. Well, I think about your former team, right? That traded you.
But I mean, it's been a couple of years, and
it has. I know.
I mean, I guess maybe it's
but
every time.
It's kind of like one of those things, I guess. I don't know. Maybe
not. And the Leafs love it. Like, we didn't trade Connor Brown because Connor Brown was awful. It's just
no.
He made a little too much money, and
Still got it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And he scored a huge.
So the first, after the first, you got the second period. You got. I find the first 10 minutes, not a lot happened. I mean, I don't know if you kind of caught that too. I mean, there's a bit of back and forth, but not a whole lot of. I think. Wait, didn't somebody hit the post? Maybe was that in the first and the third? I can't remember
I think the Leafs hit the post.
Hit the post or something. That was like the only really kind of thing that happened, and then you got the. I think then you got the
Melkeyev goal.
Yes, then you got that to tie it up at 1, which was weird. Now, with that goal, and I'm a Sens fan, I was like, no, that's a good goal. Like, I knew right away. I was like, why did he call it off there? I was really surprised.
Yeah. I had it sent in my other group chat. I was like, if they call this back, like, I'm done. Like, it's
yeah, no, it was weird.
I didn't even understand why they called it off in the first place, because even if it was at a stick, it was below the crossbar, it seemed.
Yeah.
So,
no, it didn't make any sense to me, because when they originally called, I was like, oh, there must be something I didn't see. When they did the replay, I'm like, well, it looks like a good goal to me, and I'm a Sens fan. I'm like, that looks like a good goal. So I wasn't surprised that they called it a good goal. Definitely not surprised that they called it a good goal. It's just weird that the ref seemed very sure it wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he called it off like the second it went in. He was like, no goal, no goal.
What?
But then the replay was like, no, that's a good goal. That's fine.
That's why I was like,
weird.
All right, here we go.
Yeah. And I can imagine a Leafs fan probably being like, what the...
Well, you know, and it's already kind of like
that.
this Anton Forsberg stoning him. And like, he had made an amazing save off of Matthews.
Yeah, that glove save was very nice. The glove
few
one,
minutes. You mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
and so it's like, are we actually going to shut out by this goalie? It's it's kind of it's weird.
It's in the back of your mind, right?
Well, it's because sometimes it's like the Leafs can't score anymore.
Energy tap is full.
Yeah.
And they got stoned by Joey Decor, and they got stoned like every goalie that Ottawa's trotted out this year. And
Yeah, that's a whole other problem with the Sens getting goalies hurt. But our friggin' fourth and fifth string goalies seem to be better than our first and second. So,
well, that's going to be a
it's
problem
worked
in the
out.
future there.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
That Murray signing was a terrible signing. Absolutely garbage.
yeah.
He's not very good. He's not very good.
I think maybe he got put into a bad situation in the beginning of the year, and he wasn't able to find his confidence because the team was a lot shittier. Like, they weren't as cohesive they are now, and
No, but at the same time, good goaltending changes things too, right? Like,
yeah.
if you have good goaltending, you'll feel more confident and the team seems to play better, right?
No, for
I mean,
sure.
that's
And
my thought.
and you're like, and I see some silly things on my Twitter feed like, oh well, let's sign this guy and maybe Seattle will take Matt Murray in the expansion draft. And it's like, no, they're not gonna.
No, not with his
Why
contract.
would they do
It's not
that?
going to happen. Unless he had amazing numbers, maybe. But he doesn't. He has
Or
terrible
they want to hit
numbers
the
right
cap floor for some reason, but
Yeah, that would be perfect for the Sens, but it's not going to happen.
But you're kind of stuck with Matt Murray.
We're stuck with Murray.
He's going to turn it around.
Somehow, find his game. That's the only thing we can hope for right now.
What's his deal? Is he injured right now?
He's injured. He's been injured for a while. He's been on day-to-day for about 2 weeks. So I don't know why it's day-to-day when it's been 2 weeks. Shouldn't it be more? But I don't know.
They're keeping him out
Day-to-day.
see how the kids play.
Yeah, maybe that's probably what it is, to be honest, because he hasn't been very. And I think and that's another thing. I was listening to some of the podcasts with Mark Mathot, and he was saying the players know that. Like, it's like that people don't think the players don't know. The players full well know they're playing like shit.
Yeah.
Like, they know this, right? Like, Murray knows he's not playing very well. So it's hard to say, like, why. He probably doesn't know either. He's probably trying, but he's just not. He can't seem to get it together, right?
Well, you look at Carter Hart right now in Philadelphia. He's just getting shelled.
Yeah. What is going on with Philly?
Was supposed to be one of the best goaltenders of the future, but like he can't figure it out right now.
It's so strange.
And he's got to go home every night and be like, "What the fuck am I doing?"
What's going on? All right, didn't they lose like something like 9-0 or something?
They lost 9-0 the first, but then they lost. I think it was only 9-3. Tonight.
Oh, tonight, eh? I think it was tonight. Yeah, because Zibanejad got another hat trick or something, right? Yeah,
but even
that's really strange.
Like Joey Campbell, Jake Campbell. Sorry, I don't know why I said Joey. Like, I guess his big problem was that he's a people pleaser and he wanted everybody to like him, and then and you could see it after both the goals that Sens scored tonight, off his own miscues. Like, you could just see in his body language, like he put his glove over his face, and he knew it was his own, and Tavares had to speak to him after the first one because it's like, I'm sure he didn't say these words, but we got your back. Get your shit together. It's fine.
Yeah. Fine, don't worry. It happens. And it happens. Don't get me wrong. It happens to every player. They screw up and something happens. It's not abnormal, right? Like, it's not fair to be like, well, you screwed up one time. That's it. You're done. Like, it doesn't work. Because every player makes mistakes.
Even his press conference, those are my mistakes. I'll be better. Like, the guy's still beating himself in the press conference.
And he also still won the game, so that's the ultimate goal. You won the freaking game, right?
Well, and he didn't let any... I mean, those were bad goals, but he didn't, He did,
I think it was one of those things where he just overplayed the puck, right? He shouldn't probably have done what he did, but it's not like he let in a bad goal per se.
No, they were bad goals because he didn't know how to play the puck.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, but it's not like you like those goals where the guy will wrist it or something, and you're like, whoa, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what I mean?
No,
Anyways,
they weren't a tough goal.
Don't listen to me. Okay, so let's get this over with. Third period, Where were we at? We really got off track there, but third
What's that?
period.
That's what you got to jive. You gotta get some conversation going.
Yeah, true. Third period, you got. Where were we at the third period? When did they score the second goal? It was in
Spezza got that rocket there.
Spezza, right? And it was like halfway through, roughly, if I can remember correctly. And then Ottawa. Oh, first of all, I'm going to mention Shabbat with a horrible, horrible giveaway there to. I can't remember who he gave it to, and then passed to Spezza to score. And Shabbat, that's another one that I'm not really happy with this year. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he's played very well, but that's another story.
Yeah, they were talking about
Anyways.
him in the yay or nay, or like if he was going to be a candidate for Team
No, he won't
Canada. Yeah, I think
No,
the nays.
not the
won
way
it.
he's playing this year. Not the way he's playing this year. He's got points. That's fine, but he's been defensively. He's been really bad this year. Unfortunately, he's got to figure that out. He plays so many minutes. He plays over 30 minutes a game. It's too much for him.
Yeah.
You can't just have a guy play that many minutes and not screw up all the time. It's just not going to happen, right?
Well, no,
I don't know why.
Young.
And he's young
Like
too.
he's still what,
young.
22?
20, yeah, something like that. He's still very young, and I hate that they do that because I find that can ruin a player. You know?
Well, I wonder if that's what happened with Cece. Like, remember Cece came on the...
Yep. Because he was
And,
good his
like-
first few years, and then they played him like crazy, and he couldn't take it anymore. It was too much. It was too much for him. So, anyways, so third period. So then, so Spezza scores. Then Formanton gets his second of his career
Off another Campbell miscue.
off another Campbell mistake. So we're tied 2-2. We get to overtime. Now, overtime, I'm going to say something. I don't understand why Shabbat basically passed it to Matthews. I don't understand why that happened. Because that was, like, he had two guys on either side. Why would you try to go through Matthews to get it to the guy, I guess it was on the left side. It makes no sense, because the only person that was back was Matthews.
Yeah.
It was a 3-on-1. And he decides to try to pass it, like, through Matthews, because, you know, Matthews is an absolute terrible player. He'll miss it. Like,
Well,
I
he's got
don't get that
tree
play.
trunk thighs.
That's what I mean. Like, what are you doing? Like, you had a guy on your right side that was wide open. Like, completely wide open. Had nobody near him. But no, I'm going to pass it through Matt. Like, it made no sense. That was it. And then Matthews come back, and then I know it was a bit of a scramble, and then they score, but that ultimately led to the overtime winner. And I'm not mad about the loss.
Like
It doesn't
if
matter.
Matthews was completely healthy, I think if Matthews was completely healthy, they would have scored on that shift anyways. So
Either
it's-
way, it led to a goal. Either way, we had a 3-on-1, and somehow Shabbat gave it to Matt. Almost like if you watch the replay, like what was he trying to do? I don't understand where he was trying to go with that pass. It made no sense to me. Again, it's frustrating, right? Because that shouldn't have ended like that. I mean, who knows? It could have came back and they scored anyway. But
Or he could have snuck it through, and you know they.
well, he had it.
They
He had
gotta-
a guy. If you watch the replay,
If he
had
makes
a
that
guy on
pass,
the
and
right.
it's a 3-on-0. I guess.
Yeah, kind of. It'd be a 2-on-0, more a 2-on-0.
It was
But it
a
was
pretty high
a
risk.
risky. It was a risky pass for no reason. He had a guy on the right side that was wide open. He could have
Yeah.
passed it. It made no sense. Anyways, doesn't matter. The Leafs won, and it was, you know what? Good on them because they worked their asses off to get that win.
Can we talk about Dorian's tantrum in the press box though?
You know what? I think I missed that because I was writing stuff down. And then I heard something on the TV and I looked up and I missed it. So what exactly happened? He had a tantrum?
Yeah, he like picked his glass of orange juice or whatever it was, beer, I don't know, and just like threw it against the wall and went. Oh,
Really? I didn't. I gotta see if I can get that clip. Cause
oh it's all over the Twitter.
oh, is it? Okay, I'm gonna have to get that.
Oh yeah,
I'll
it's
put that in my next video.
like why are you so mad, man?
Yeah.
Like
Time's up. Enemy reinforcements.
like I get being under, you know, unless you had a bet with Dubas over the game and
Bring it on.
Yeah, I don't know. Damn,
now
man,
you owe him a
think about
dinner
the
or
lunch
something,
now.
but
Yeah, think about the lunch now.
Here we go.
but like you should be like the Sens still want to lose this year, right?
Like it's not like we got slaughtered. Like okay, we lost in overtime. It's not really that big of a deal.
To the top team
we
in
had
the
a-
North, so
Yeah, like it's really not that big of a. I wasn't mad at that loss. we worked hard. We tried our, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like we just fucking were lazy or something. No, we lost, and you know what?
Unless he thought that,
What-
unless he thinks, now, here's a crazy thought. He thinks that they're going to go on a run, and he's going to make some trades to buy to
No.
try to get into the
No.
playoffs.
I really hope not, because that wouldn't help us at all.
I've seen some Sens fan on Twitter being like, is Philip Gustafsson the new Hamburglar? Could we make a run?
Yeah, no, that's not where we want. The thing is, that's not where we want to be right now.
I mean, he has inappropriately mismanaged his team before when he traded for Matt Duchene.
100%. 100%.
Could you imagine if he trades all your prospects right now
Oh, God.
to make a run?
To be honest, with this management that the Sens have, I would be surprised. But it would be a completely stupid move. It would be the dumbest move ever. Because why would you do that? You know what? We're in a section where we're on the right track, right? But it takes time. It takes time for first of all our young guys to develop and to pick up better guys in the draft. Like you think about next year, I know it's not the greatest draft in the world, but there's some pretty decent defensemen coming up that we could definitely use. You know what I mean?
Well, you still don't want to, yeah.
You don't want to rush it, no. And that's what we've done in the past. Remember, we were supposed to be rebuilding, this was like 5-6 years ago, and they rushed it. And we ended up, it just didn't work out. Now we're rebuilding again.
You don't want to be like Buffalo.
No. That's another thing we should talk about. Oh my, man, I feel bad for their fans. I really do.
I don't even know
I'm
how
not
you
just
fix
saying
Buffalo.
Like, how do you fix that? Yeah, how do you fix that team? What is going on there?
I think you trade Eichel.
Yeah, I think
You
something.
burn it all. Like he doesn't want to play there anymore.
No, clearly doesn't want to play there anymore. Doesn't he? He doesn't even have that many points this year, does he? I don't remember.
He wasn't doing great. He's been injured for the last little bit.
Oh, okay, he's injured. Right. Is he still injured? You know?
Oh yeah.
I don't follow it enough.
I have him in one
He's
of my
on IR?
pools. He's like super injured.
Oh, he's on IR. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I think we're done this game, and I'll stop it now. But I think that was good. Thank you, Loop, for being my guest today.
Yeah, well, always a pleasure to speak to my fans.
All right, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Wait, let's just finish this first before I close it. What do we got left? Sentinel. All right, and done. Cool. All right. Well.